and welcome back to the channel. So if you're new here, I'm Coles and this is Jake, and today's video is all about me.
Yeah, so today we're going to be delving into Coles' fitness journey over the last 6 to 12 months, aren't we, darling?
We are indeed.
So I'm going to be asking her plenty of questions surrounding her nutrition, her training, in an effort really to help you guys, okay? So we want to take Coles' experience, allow you to relate to it, and again, if you've got any other questions following from that, you can comment down below.
Yeah, so before we start, make sure you give this video a like and subscribe to see more. We've got loads of ideas for content. We do vlogs, sit down videos, training videos, advice videos, and yeah, if you've got any suggestions on what you want to see from us, let us know down in the comments, and yeah.
Awesome, okay, so grab a coffee, grab a brew, whatever it is, eat your tea, and let's get into it. So, question numero uno, Coles. In the last 6 to 12 months, what would you say is the 3 most important things you've learned about your training?
Okay, first would definitely be making sure you actually know what you're doing. So, I mean, just a lot of people that's going to seem obvious, but for me, personally, and probably for a lot of other people, that you might not want to admit, you don't really know what you're doing in the gym properly. You might know bits and bobs, but I really didn't. I just floated around the machines, the cardio room, things that I thought I should be doing, but yeah, I didn't. And if you want to make serious progress, seek help and advice from somebody like Jake, who knows what they're doing, and that's what they're paid to do. So yeah, seek help because it will obviously make a massive difference. And then the second thing would be having a structured plan. So that sort of follows off from that. So what Jake and most other PTs will do is put you on a plan that suits you and the progress that you want to make and the goals that you want to achieve. So yeah, having a structured plan is so important because one, it keeps you on track, it helps you monitor progress, and yeah, you're just doing what you're supposed to be doing really. And then third thing would be weight training, how important that is, and not just like I did at the start, like floating around machines and just kind of doing bare minimum easy stuff. Weight training has helped me in so many different ways, like how I look, how I feel, my strength, confidence, and yeah, it just makes me feel mint now, and there's so many benefits to it.
Another question from on top of that is going to be, I know a lot of women in particular, they get scared of going towards the weights because they think it's going to make them look manly. Like, that they think if they start lifting weights in any way, particularly heavier weights than what they think they used to, and they're going to look like a man. Coles, what do you think to that?
Absolute crap. I did think that to a point, and it does put you off slightly, if you have that mindset, because you don't want to look like a man. But having gone through a journey of weight training myself and seeing what it's done to my body, I can 100% guarantee you are not going to look like a man. You're going to look mint, and you're going to look a lot better and healthier and stronger and more defined than if you were just going to do cardio.
In terms of testosterone as a hormone, males and females have it, but females' level of testosterone in their blood is very, very low in comparison to a man's. This is how I explain it to most women. Again, I know this video is about helping everybody, but more specifically to women. So testosterone is really low within a woman. So if she starts lifting weights, she is never ever going to develop the sort of muscle mass that a male would. Don't get me wrong, she can make fantastic results over time, see massive amounts of progress. Coles has already seen so much to begin with, but in terms of looking muscular, veiny, it's just never going to happen because you don't have the required amount of testosterone as a hormone, because testosterone is the male sex hormone, estrogen is the female sex hormone. So testosterone is nice and low for a woman, so you're not going to be developing those veiny, muscular, like grainy sort of physiques unless you take anabolic steroids. So that's your choice, obviously. I wouldn't, again, there's a whole other story. I wouldn't recommend doing it. But yeah, don't be afraid, ladies, as Coles, and you can see it if it's physique, she looks fantastic. Yeah. It's not going to happen. So the second question that I would like to ask Coley is, over the last 6 to 12 months, what have you learned about nutrition? So the top 3 things you've learned about nutrition that have really helped your journey.
Okay, so the first one would be how important tracking and understanding what macros are and what they do for your body. I'm somebody that didn't particularly care what they were eating. I just ate whatever I wanted and whenever I wanted whatever quantity. But tracking for me in the beginning really helped me understand what I was eating and what things like protein meant, carbs, fat, calories, all that, and what they all meant and what they were doing for my body. So obviously protein is for like helping your muscle growth and recovery, carbs for fueling your workout, so I was making sure that I was eating carbs at the right time, and fat to help hormones and bowel movements and things like that. So understanding those three things and calories in general really helped me understand how much I should be eating and what I should be eating when. I'm not saying you have to track religiously throughout your entire fitness process, but sometimes it is necessary because you need to know if you're eating enough protein or if you're cutting out carbs for any particular reason, or whatever your goal might be. It's important to understand that and kind of have it in the back of your mind. You don't have to write everything down or use MyFitnessPal if it is kind of like a trigger for you. For some people it is. So yeah, however strict you are with it, doesn't matter, but as long as you understand what all those things mean, I think is really important, and that's changed my perspective on things quite a lot. Yeah. Number 2 would be similar thing, is calories. So in terms of being in a surplus or a deficit and what they mean, and when you need to use each of them. So obviously surplus, if you're building muscle or wanting to get bigger, you'd eat a lot more protein and a lot more, or a bit more than what your body requires. Deficit, if you're trying to lose weight, fat loss, again, protein. Always protein, but you would eat less than what your body requires in order to lose weight. So understanding those in like a black and white sense has helped me a lot in terms of like making sure that I'm understanding of what my body needs at certain times. And thirdly, I think would be finding a routine that works for you. So in terms of what to eat, when to eat, and how your lifestyle fits into that. So for me personally, I've found recently that, and it's the same for you really, isn't it? Like pushing our food to the end of the day, or like the second half of the day, really works, especially when I was on a deficit, because it's quite low calories that I was like allocated per day.
You made it sound very strict.
Allocated.
You will not eat more than this.
No, so the calories that I was allowed during the day, if I was to spread them out throughout the day and start off eating as soon as I woke up, I was just hungry throughout the whole day, and it made it so much more stressful to handle those calories. Whereas if I try to hold off for this first half of the day, whereas I'm not a big breakfast person anyway, which helped in this situation, so it allowed me to eat all my calories at the end of the day when I prefer to eat. Some people might like to eat everything in the morning, or have like a massive lunch and then have little snacks either side. It's literally, you've got to tailor it to yourself, otherwise it's going to stress you out and you're not going to enjoy the process. I think that's a massive point, is food, everyone loves food. If you don't, you're weird.
You're not human.
You're not. So yeah, it's finding what works for you and what's best for your lifestyle.
Yeah, and just to reiterate really, it's exactly what Coles has said, is learning the fundamentals about nutrition and then tailoring them to yourself, to how you need them. And once you've done that, you can't really go wrong, okay? So if it is me, you could use as a coach, selling myself, or just find somebody, a PT at your gym, wherever you are, someone online to help you, or just learn these things yourself, learn the basics, tailor them to yourself, and you've got a great platform to move forward with for your nutrition. So question number 3 is going to be, Coles, what would be your biggest physical and psychological challenge over the last 6 to 12 months? Okay,
so I would definitely say the effects, that sounds bad, of being a mother. So if you don't know, I've got a 2.5-year-old boy called Theo, and like if you're a mum or a parent, you'll probably know that your body changes a lot after motherhood. For some people not so much, some people a lot more. But yeah, for me, aspects of my body definitely changed, and different strength areas changed, and I just wanted to kind of improve as much as I could. Obviously, psychologically, you've got to learn to accept that some things aren't going to change. For me, I'm going to get a bit TMI with this. Skin on my stomach, I'm always going to have extra skin on my stomach now, and that's something that really bothered me in the first kind of stage of being a mum, and learning how my body changed afterwards. So yeah, that's one thing that's changed, and my boobs as well. Boobs will never be the same after breastfeeding. They will suck the life out of you. But yeah, so just, I know that was a bit TMI, but I want to be honest with you guys, and that's one thing that's like massively affected me in this training process, is learning to accept that some things aren't going to change, but a lot of things are as well, and you can make massive differences to your insecurities and things that you don't like about your body. So for me, when I talked about my boobs, obviously at first I was like, oh my god, it's only going to take a boob job to make me happy. That's not the case. Like, through training, that area of my body has changed a lot because I've added muscle to certain areas and it's improved. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but it's the same with other areas as well. There's always improvements that you can make to your insecure areas. So yeah, I guess that's the biggest challenge that I've faced, is changing the aspects of me that changed when I had a child, because they're not things that you plan for. You can't kind of stop them from changing. They're going to change. So yeah, that would, I'd say, be the most challenging aspect.
I would say, obviously, being Coley's partner, in case you didn't know, we are together. I think everybody knows. But just seeing things from a mother's point of view and a woman's point of view, it's changed a lot in my mind, and it's made me feel, and I've got a lot more newfound respect for mums and women on a fitness journey, because they do have different bodies, men and women. Hormone related, particularly obviously post-pregnancy, there's a lot of difficult changes that women have to go through, and it's not as simple as a man's body. So, to be honest, if you want us to go into more detail about this,
we could do a separate video on that, couldn't we?
With Coles' background, and from what I now know about even menstrual cycles, menopause and all that sort of thing, we can do a separate video talking about the difference between a man and a woman's body when training, and give you advice really on how to train and how to eat at different times of the month. So let us know down below.
That's a good one as well. And yeah, one other thing which you'll probably agree with, time of the month, and your hormones at the time. Sometimes just don't even try and train, because your mind won't let you. We've been through that quite a few times, where my head is just not in it, because obviously some people don't have like psychological effects at their time of the month. Some people do, and some people to quite an extreme. And I found one thing that is just not even worth trying is training at certain times. So that's another psychological thing that I've had to face.
Yeah, but we can discuss that all in another video if you want us to. Comment down below and we'll get that done for you. So, question 4. We couldn't really do a Q&A without asking anybody this question. So, Coles, what is your favourite lift to perform in the gym?
Okay, it's got to be deadlift, yeah. Before going to the gym and meeting Jake, I'm going to be honest, I've never even heard of deadlift before. It's quite an embarrassing thing to say, I guess. But yeah, definitely the deadlift. It just makes me feel super powerful, super strong, and you look mint when you do it as well, I'd say. Everyone just, yeah, you just kind of ooze power and strength. And it's something that I think maybe you'd agree that I'm kind of naturally quite good at doing that movement. Any pull movements, I've kind of grown into learning that I'm quite good at those.
Everybody, after a bit of time of training, they will genetically have a muscle group or a movement that just stands out. I'm similar to Coley, mine's my back. Hers is a back, so any pull movements, pull-movements off the floor with the hamstrings, and any pull movements with the back, biceps, that sort of stuff, you'll just find the muscle groups that's better for you, and you'll just fall in love with it quicker than you will the others. You can't really do anything about it, just genetically, they're your movements and you're gifted for it, and you'll see a lot more physical progress, strength progress, and that's probably one of the reasons, as she's just said, why she absolutely loves the deadlift.
She does.
Question 5. We've done what your favourite movement is.
Yep.
It would only be right of me to ask, what's your most hated exercise in the gym?
It's got to be squats. I hate them. I just can't do them. I mean, I can do them to a point, but we've been through a bit of a journey with squats.
We have. I mean, it's definitely not music to my ears hearing that, but I'll let her explain.
Yeah, so I mean, I can do bodyweight squats, goblet squats, but back squats, I've just not been able to find the right way to do it for me. Everyone moves differently when they're lifting, and we've tried different techniques, haven't we?
Yeah.
But no matter what I do with my legs, my feet, my mind, nothing tends to work, and I just can't make myself feel comfortable doing a squat. and that's it. Like I wasn't making any progress. I was getting frustrated. So yeah, definitely squats. So we kind of realised in that process that the leg press is my alternative and works a lot better, and I'm so much better at it and made loads more progress. So yeah, we've kind of deleted squats from our programs, haven't we?
Yeah. In terms of muscular growth for your legs, most people would say to you, if you missed a squat out of a program, they'd be like, what are you doing? Like, you need to have it in a leg day. But if you're just looking at muscular growth, leg press is a great replacement. Obviously, squat is more of a compound movement. It uses more muscle groups. You've got your core musculature working, you've got your lower back and your posterior chain working as well. And it really is kind of like a full body movement, even though you're obviously initiating it with your legs. You've got all of this working too. But unless you are a power lifter and you are squatting for competition, okay, or you're an Olympic weightlifter, if you're just trying to build muscle, squats are not a necessity. As we found with Coles, sometimes just your hip position, the way your femur, your hip bone inserts into your pelvis, sometimes genetically it's just not for you, okay? Again, I think you have to be patient with lifts, which we've kind of discussed that we were maybe going to try it again.
Maybe go back to it and try different techniques, and maybe I think a lot of it was I kind of got into my head a little bit with it, because I had a period of time where my hips were hurting quite a lot, especially when I was squatting, and then I think that was on my mind so much. Like, I don't want it to hurt my hips, or I'm doing it wrong, and I'm quite a psychological person when it comes to stuff like that, and like I get in my own head and I get frustrated and I get angry, and we kind of just said, right, let's put a pause on squats. Let's not do them for now. But yeah, we're going to try and slowly introduce them back at some point whenever the gym opens again. Yeah, so just give it a go, but not put too much pressure on it, because we know that the leg press works for me anyway. So.
For building muscle, the leg press is a great alternative. Question number 6. So obviously you've got a bit of experience now. It's been 6 to 12 months.
Yeah.
Think you're a bit of a pro.
Okay.
So if you could give one single piece of advice to anybody in your position 12 months ago, that way, what would it be?
Definitely get help. As I said earlier, briefly covered it, you might think you know what you're doing to a certain extent, and you might, but getting somebody else's perspective, who it's their job, it's their profession, it's what they get paid for. And I'm not just saying that because he's sat there and he's a personal trainer and online coach. But yeah, I'm not just saying that because Jake's there. It made such a massive difference to my training and my everything about the whole situation. I thought I kind of knew what I was doing, but kind of just floated around, didn't really have the confidence to try things like lifts and deadlifts and squats and all the main compound movements that you should be doing. And I didn't know what was best for my body. It's like you wouldn't try and fix your roof without asking a roofer to help you or to do it. So why would you try and fix or change your body without asking somebody that's trained in that profession to help you do it? So yeah, it just made a massive difference, and you're going to waste your time. If you think you know what you're doing, just ask for help.
Yeah, absolutely. If you know who James Smith PT is, great guy, great information. I'm just selling on this. But he's got a really good analogy. As Cole said about the roofer then, his analogy is when you learn to drive, you wouldn't just get in a car and just get behind the wheel and start pressing the pedals. You invest the money and the time into a driving instructor. They show you the ropes, you pass your test, and then eventually, and I see this from a personal trainer, my point of view as well, the coach that I am, is that eventually I want you to leave me. I want you to have enough information, just like you'd leave your driving instructor, to go off on your own. And then if you have further questions where you want to try a new training program, you want to eat a different way, that's when you can come back to me for a couple of weeks and I teach you something new, and then go off on your own again, because that's how it would work with a driving instructor if you wanted to learn to drive on the motorway or some different vehicle. So it's a great analogy. Use a personal trainer, invest your time and money into them to learn what you need to do, learn the fundamentals. I think learning the fundamentals with anything is important.
Yeah, literally anything in life, any type of goal that you have, like you're not always going to know exactly what to do from your own brain because you've not studied it, you've not gone to this. You might have done slight research, but they're experiencing it. They've seen however many people go through the same journeys that you are wanting to go through. Yeah, you can divert them from mistakes that they might make in the future and get them to where they want to be as quickly and as effectively as possible.
Yes, so use a personal trainer, learn what you need to, get rid of them. I'm joking, but personally that is the end goal. I don't want you to stick with me to forever. I want to be pleased with the job that I've done, so you go off on your own and be successful on your own at these principles that you really need and will use for the rest of your life. It's not just a short-term fix thing, it's something that's a long-term plan and it's forever. So. Right, question number 7. What 3 habits have you adopted as part of your lifestyle since starting?
Okay, definitely intermittent fasting. So when I mentioned before about finding a nutrition routine that suits you, intermittent fasting is definitely one that I've learned to adopt and that suits me. So pushing my food to the second half of the day really helps me control my calories, and yeah, it's just worked for me massively. That's definitely one of my main habits. The second one would be regular resistance training, and the importance of weight training and putting that like a main part of my fitness routine, and learning to enjoy it and learning what it does and each movement and all that jazz.
I'm glad you said that.
No.
Yeah, jazz. Go back to our last video and it was on there.
Oh yeah, jazz and situation, I seem to keep saying for some reason. Anyway, number 3 would be protein, definitely. I still am quite shocking at my protein intake, but used to be diabolical. Because I just didn't know what it meant. I didn't know why I needed it or like how important it really was. But yeah, since this one came along, it's when you scream at me, isn't it, darling?
Yes, it is.
I'm still not great at it. I'm getting a lot better. I've started tracking again, but just mainly tracking protein to make sure that I'm putting it into my diet because it's super important for so many different reasons. And protein can be found in lots of different ways. You don't have to eat like loads of meat all the time. We've recently discovered how good tuna is for protein.
Oh yeah.
We'll probably do a separate video on like food and macros and protein and all that, but yeah, just quickly, tuna is a massive one that we've taken on. That's easy to eat and it's tasty and it's nice. Eggs, yeah, eggs are super good for it, and protein shakes. I've found, and to be fair, we're quite a good example because we treat protein in terms of powder form quite differently, because you won't drink shakes, will you?
No.
But I'm a milkshake person, love a milkshake, but normal milkshakes aren't great, but protein milkshakes are tasty and they're easy to consume and they've got loads of protein in them, whereas you prefer like
to eat it,
like put it in pancakes and porridge and
yeah.
Have it with yogurt and stuff like that, don't you? So yeah, the importance of protein and kind of putting that into my lifestyle.
Yeah, and I think obviously we've only briefly covered those 3 habits. I think they're very, very important habits. If you've got any questions about those habits, we can absolutely make more videos. I personally would love to create a protein video, how much you need, why you need it, go into all the science of that. So if you want that video, once again, comment down below and I will get on with that, and particularly the intermittent fasting one as well. That's another great option to use. Doesn't work for everybody, but if you can make it work for you, it's well worth it.
Yeah.
Question number 8. Obviously, we are in a difficult time at the moment, and
Corona.
It wouldn't be right if I didn't ask this question. Coles, how has COVID-19 affected your lifestyle?
A lot. It definitely has affected a lot. I think I speak for most people when I say there's been massive ups and downs with motivation in terms of your nutrition, your eating and training and wanting to do loads and wanting to do absolutely nothing. From speaking to friends and family and everything, like I think everyone's kind of in the same boat. At the beginning of lockdown, it was very overwhelming and everyone was a bit like, what the hell is going on? And how are you going to survive this? I was with a 2-year-old and I was like, I've got potentially 3 months of being in a house with a 2-year-old. I just don't want to do anything. Like I just didn't care. But then as time's gone on and we've kind of got used to the situation and grown into it, I've had my food under control a lot more, and we've been more active. Like when it was really hot, I was doing a lot of things outside, like training outside, gardening as well.
Loads of gardening.
Loads of gardening. And yeah, I got my eating in check, and yeah, but it has been up and down. Like since that point, I've had like a week where I've done no training whatsoever and I've eaten like crap, and then I've had a week where I've trained 4 or 5 times a week and felt great and been eating really well. So yeah, it's been a massive cliche roller coaster, but it has, and I'm sure it has for a lot of you guys. Yeah, it's affected a lot really, but you've kind of just got to balance it out and not put too much pressure on yourself to be like, I have to train 4 times a week and eat everything that I should be eating and not have cheat days or whatever. But yeah, you just gotta put the pressure on yourself, haven't you, really?
Yeah, it's not the normal circumstances of how you would live your life, eating, training, psychologically.
Yeah.
So you just got to do what you can really. And obviously we're still in it. Gyms still aren't open. We're not training to the capacity that we would like.
No, but we've also quite enjoyed adapting our training to being at home, and we've quite enjoyed it sometimes, haven't we? And like pushing ourselves to make a home workout, especially for you, really hard, because we were restricted with kit. You might have dumbbells, but they might not be that heavy weight, so it's learning how to make the exercises harder with like limited kit. So that's been a challenge, but it's been, sometimes you're like, oh, home workout again, can't be asked. But other times it's like, no, we're going to make this really hard and we're really motivated to do it. So again, up and down, but yeah, you just got to adapt.
Of course. Right, so last question, Coles, what are your fitness goals for the future?
Okay, so main gain would be the correct term, I think, but yeah, so maintaining weights and not being in a deficit or a surplus or anything, not particularly bulking or anything like that, but just maintaining, but gaining muscle, gaining strength, because I've learned over the past few months how much I bloody love weight training and how good it's been for my body in a psychological, physical, appearance sense, every sense. I've enjoyed it a lot, and before lockdown I was making so much progress with my weights, wasn't I?
Yeah, huge.
And the motivation it gives you when you do make progress, like week after week, is amazing. I loved it. So yeah, definitely keep up with the weight training, and over time gain muscle, but kind of maintaining my weight and way I'm eating, like eat what I need to. Loads of protein. Trying to remember the protein. But yeah, so main gain is basically what I'm going to try and do. So yeah, if you want to elaborate.
So to elaborate, you don't necessarily have to be in a surplus, so eating more food than what your body requires past maintenance to build muscle. You could build muscle and lose fat at the same time. That's more of like a body recomposition goal. A body recomposition goal. So what Coles is talking about is, it's termed main gaining. So her calories are roughly going to be at maintenance, but because we're pumping the protein up and she's consistently applying progressive overload within her resistance training, over time she will build muscle and potentially lose body fat percentage slowly. So we spoke about this before, seeing results, strength gains, muscle gains, it's a long-term goal. It doesn't happen overnight. We've spoke about this before. Don't kind of buy into people that say to you, you can build loads of muscle over 6-week, 12-week programs. It takes years. It takes decades. When you see these people with amazing physiques, for the most part, they've been doing it for a very, very long time. The only time you'll see very quick results is if you're looking at fat loss, because we can all agree, you shred the fat off someone quickly, you can appear bigger, you can appear more defined. But actually building muscle and strength takes a very, very long time. So with that, Coles is just going to obviously make her habits part of a lifestyle once again, and just continue as she was, getting a lot stronger and building some muscle in the process. So everyone, that about finalises the video. Really, really hope you've enjoyed some of the things that me and Coley have been talking about. We hope you've learned a lot, because she really has been through a massive journey over the last 6 to 12 months. She's seen a lot of progress, and we just wanted to share that with you because we know a lot of you can relate, whether you are a mother yourself, or whether you're just starting out, or even if you've been in the game for a while, just to learn some new things with the help of Coley sharing her experiences.
And obviously we covered quite a few topics within this video that we've said we're going to do separate videos on, like my motherhood, fitness journey, nutrition stuff, loads of different things. So, but if there's anything that we've kind of skimmed over within this video that you want us to go more in depth with, leave it in the comments below and we'll definitely add it to our list of videos that we're going to do. And question of the video as well, is there anything else you guys want to know that we've not covered? Leave it in the comments below. And yeah, if you enjoyed it, give it a like and subscribe to see more. There's loads of video ideas that we've got, so yeah, subscribe to make sure you see them.
Absolutely, we've got so much more we want to share with you guys. So until next time, it's been Jake.
Coles?
See you in a bit. The sort of
Oh, it's me.
It is you, love.
Today we've come with you.
We come with you.
We come with you.
We're going to be here all night. Share her fitness journey.
Jordan. Don't mention that bitch, Jordan.
Yeah, so today we're going to be delving into Nicole's fitness journey.
Nicole?
I don't know, it just came
I
out.
just
Start
introduced
again.
me as Coles.
Right.
Who the fuck's this?
Start
You don't
again.
even know.
Right, start again.
Picked up off the street.
How our training has been...
Bill? How's Bill doing, Coles? This video's all about Bill.
So everyone, that about rounds off the rodeo.
Rodeo.
Rodeo. Get on that fucking cow. Cow. Fucking cow. Ready?
That rounds off the rodeo. It's gonna get annoyed of me again.
I am.
What am I saying?
Say like and subscribe. Cinnabille.
Okay. Cinnabille.
Right, yeah.
Cinnabille. Right, Bill, Cinnabille. Leave a fucking comment.
You've got 15 seconds of a clip left to say and then we're done. Just please compose yourself.
What are you kissing?
No. Are you ready?